Welcome, welcome, welcome to your Creative Living Show with your host, Sherry Queen She Burden. Hello, everybody. As you see, I have a new background here. I'm at E-Life Studios. It is a vegan restaurant that also has a studio located in Capitol Heights, Maryland. Yes, I am so excited because I was just thinking back at a time where I actually performed here with a band, and the band was called Life, Life. It stood for Love in Full Effect. And as I think about how things just kind of happen in life, and how things connected and you reconnect and everything is connected. It's like I'm all about life. That's what I'm all about. Everyone that knows me is I'm all about living a creative life, living life to the fullest, a life full of joy and happiness. And I'm always seeking ways to try to help you understand and give you ideas on how you can have a creative, healthy life. So I connect that healthy with the creativity and all of that. But I am so excited about this new venture here with the E-Life Studio family. And thank you all for joining. Thank you all so much for taking out the time out of your busy schedule. So the other thing I want you to know is that tonight is going to be very interesting. It maybe is very close and dear to my heart, and it's dealing with divorce. And so tonight's topic is creating your new life after divorce. So I'm going to give a couple of tips throughout the evening, and we're going to have hopefully some people will be able to call in. So if you're out there and you've experienced divorce, or even if you were excuse me, a child and you're of a divorced parent or something, then we want to have you call in. So I'll let you know when we're ready for you to call in, okay? But for right now, let's go ahead and have our quote of the evening. Our quote of the evening. Freeing yourself was one thing. Claiming ownership of that freed self was another. So let me say that again. Freeing yourself was one thing. Claiming ownership of that freed self was another. That's by Toni Morrison. What does that mean to you? To me, when I ran across that quote, and I wanted to relate it to something with freeing yourself and living a life when it comes to, your after divorce, it's basically freeing yourself. You may have freed yourself from divorce or situation or job or any type of challenges, right? You may have freed yourself. However, once you get out of that, have you claimed ownership of yourself? Or are you still living in the past? Are you still holding on to those things that happened in that relationship, on that job? And what do we call that? Baggage, right? So are we still holding on to that, or have we actually claimed ownership of that freed self so that we're truly free? Well, we're going to talk about some things that can free you and some different things that you could do that could help you. Now, also, I just want to just talk about divorce a little bit. If you or someone you know have been divorced, male or female, before we go on tonight, because I'm going to be giving out a lot of information, is please go over to the private group. There's a private group that I've created called Next Chapter, Free to Love Again Over 40 and Divorce. Again, it's the Next Chapter, Free to Love Again Over 40 and Divorce. It's a group that I created that I'll be providing tips. It's going to be open up to discussions about divorce. We're going to talk a little bit about dating and relationships over 40 and divorce, which we know that is definitely different than when you're 20 and 30. You know, even if you're divorced at 30, it's totally different out here dating after you're 40, right? And especially after you're 50. So that is going to be a group that, excuse me, that we're going to support one another. Again, that's male and female. I'm going to be doing like a weekly video on that page, and I'll provide that information again later. So, and most of all, like I said, is for support. So that's the main goal for that page. And I will again provide weekly talks. We're going to have a lot of fun too, and I'll have some prizes and gifts, and we'll have some different types of events that are going to be happening, series that I'm going to be doing, and I just want to say, go ahead and join. Go ahead over there, and I hope to see you all over there. Now, again, as I normally say, the purpose of this show is to share with you how creativity promotes good health. We'll talk about how creativity can benefit you mentally, physically, and spiritually. Relationships with others and yourself. We're going to encourage you to try to do new things. You know, learn something new, do something new, do something different. Doesn't matter what your age. Creativity is like so important to have in your life. And then again, loving the skin that you're in, loving yourself so that you can find joy and peace and happiness, true happiness. So again, tonight's topic is creating your new life after divorce. And with that quote of the evening, let me know what that means to you. Like, leave me a comment and let me know what you think that means to you. So next we're going to go to our words of wisdom for the evening. Our words of wisdom. So I want to give a couple of tips. And the tips that I'm giving you, I just want you to know that anything that I'm providing you, information, I have actually done it myself. I've practiced it. I've implemented it and started making it a habit in my life. These are things that I've learned through so many processes. You see this little rabbit I keep with me is the Hoffman process that I did 2 years ago, which really changed my life. I go back every year to the graduating class to give a speech to let them know just how important it is when they have taken out the time to invest in themselves and to actually make changes in their life and their behavior. So everything I'm providing you is either coming from that, is coming from life's experiences. Over the last 20 years, I've always been seeking knowledge, seeking ways to lessen the stress in my life, deal with mental health issues with my mother who I took care of, and just a lot of things, and spirituality. So we're going to start with, I have 4 tips for you. Tips to living a life full of joy, happiness, and peace. Number 1, evaluate your mental health. After a breakup, when you go into a new relationship, at different times throughout the year, evaluate your mental health. Your emotions, you know, after you get a divorce, or even if you lose a job, or any type of separation or decision that you had to make where you're departing from something. Even with grief, some of the emotions that you will be dealing with is anger, guilt, resentment, shame, pain, hurt, and blame. Those are some of the top emotions that divorce causes people to have. And a lot of people, they don't deal with it. They don't get any kind of help. They don't seek any kind of help. They just go, oh, you know, I'm just glad to get out of that relationship, or, you know, he was bad or she was bad anyway. But they never take out the time to deal with those emotions. And those things just kind of just trickle on throughout your life if you don't deal with it. So your current mental health, if you have a mental illness, like while you were in a relationship or marriage, it's going to worsen if you do not get any help afterwards. So it kind of sparks, it brings out even more of any type of mental health issues that you may have, even if it's depression, anything like that. And it also, the worst thing is, and as being a health coach, is your physical health as well. It impacts you physically, your cells in your body, and you wonder why you're getting sick, or you wonder why you're getting these diseases. Some people start eating more, some people start eating less, all because of a breakup. But in front of everybody else, you're like, I'm okay. It's done, I'm finished. But inside, something is eating away at you. Second, number 2 tip, self-care. After a divorce or anything like that, a relationship breakup, take care of yourself. Do things that make you feel good. And of course, I'm always promoting creativity. So there's plenty of things that you can do creatively. Go out, get a little camera, but you don't even need a camera. If you got a phone, if you got the internet, you got iPads, go out into nature and take pictures. Take photos. You'll be amazed at how good that makes you feel, just being out in nature. If you can't do that, you don't have transportation, you can't get around, a pen and paper will do. Journal. Write down how you're feeling. Write down what you want to happen in the future. A vision for your life. I'm going to be having something like that as well. I'll be having like some sessions that people can sign up for classes to learn how to write a vision for your life. It's so important to take care of yourself. Do the things that make you feel good. Do the things that make you happy. Find time to do it. I don't care how busy you are. Find time to do that. Number 3, after divorce, don't rely on the next person to make you happy. Don't depend on others to make you happy. Don't put the burden on your kids. If you have kids and you're divorced, don't expect them to make you happy because of the decision that you made. But most of all, do not depend on any other person to make you happy, because if you do, they are human. And they're going to do something that upsets you or something that you don't want them to do. So you're going to be disappointed. And being disappointed does not equal happiness. Okay? So you want to try to eliminate that. And the 4th tip that I have, the last and final tip, is get to know you. Get to know yourself. So out of all these years, going to the Hoffman process, taking health coaching, getting my certification, reading these books. Here's a good book right here, Solitude. Another book that changed me, Creative Visualization. Get out there. Knowledge is power. Get out there. Find something to read. Get to know yourself. Learn more about yourself. And if you can't do it on your own, then join something. Sign up with someone. Find a coach. Find a life coach. Find a health coach. Go to a therapist. Be part of a group. Find a group so that you can express yourself and get to know yourself better. So those are my words of wisdom for the evening. So next is going to be Throwback Thursday. Throwback Thursday for the evening. So this is interesting. It's going right along with, life after divorce, right? And finding happiness and joy and moving on so that you can open up yourself for new love and new experiences. My throwback item is, many of you probably seen something like this, well, back in the day, I was in cubicles back in the early 90s. And cubicles, people would just put their name tags. They have a little thing, they put name tags on the cubicles, right? So my very first job out of college, I kept this name thing. And it got changed, it was Sherry D. Crocker. And then I kept the final one, which had my married name. So my Throwback Thursday thought is, when I looked at this, and I still use this because this is still my name, and some people may choose to, after divorce, go back to their maiden name. I decided to just keep it just because I just didn't feel like dealing with all the paperwork. That's the only reason. That's it. But when I look at this, what I want you to learn is from when you look back at the past, try to find something good in it. Don't focus on the bad things that happen. So when I see this name, I don't think about, oh my God, divorce and all the things that didn't go right. I have 2 boys out of this, 2 young men now. 2 young men came out of this union. And I'm grateful for that. If nothing else, I can be grateful for that. 2 healthy young men. When I think about this time, I remember at this job, when I got this, is when I had my first son. And I remember the baby shower that Vanessa McClintock out there, who sells paparazzi jewelry, she actually threw me a party. And those are the things I remember. That's what I remember. When I look at this, I think about, oh my God, the time when oh my God, I enjoyed being pregnant. I really did. I was so I ate everything that I wanted. Yes, I enjoyed that moment. I really enjoyed that time. Too bad I can't have another one right now. So sorry, fellas, if you want to have a baby by me, but not going to happen. But yes, I remember those times. So all I want to say is for Throwback Thursday, when you think about things back in the past, try to think of the good things. Think of all the lessons that you learned and the opportunities that you were given and the blessings. Just think about the good times. So think about things that are positive. So that's my Throwback Thursday item. The day my name changed. I call that. So what we're going to do now is tonight, because this is my first evening at the studio, I don't have any special guests. I'm your guest for the night. I'm your host and your guest because I want you to get to know me a little bit. I want you to get to know me. And I'm hoping that you are getting to know my views on certain topics. And as I said, divorced women and women over 40s and 50s, I really am, I really want to be there for them and support them and help them, continue to live a good life and find those new things and opportunities. Life is not over. Life is not over. So I'm going to go right into, now we're going to get into some deep things with divorce and how we can live a happy life. I like to just say the D word, but there's a perception with divorce. After you get a divorce, outside of all those emotional things that you may be dealing with within yourself, now you have to go out into the world. So what is the perception? I would like to hear from some of you. When you got divorced or when you heard of somebody that got divorced, leave a comment. What was it how do you look at people that are divorced? It could be positive or something not so good, but the perception of most people is that you shouldn't do it. You're scorned if you get a divorce. You lose friends that were married that you used to hang out with. They don't associate with you. They don't invite you to the couples, because mostly people are couples, so now they don't invite you. You lose that relationship with your in-laws sometimes that you were so close with. So it's like, no, you divorced from my brother, so I'm not talking to you anymore. No connection. And who knows, maybe that person is feeling awkward too. Like they don't know what to do. Like, okay, I really liked her, but I don't know. Blood is thicker than water, right? So I guess I got to go this way. People are just so concerned about how society is going to look at them and what they think. And what I want people to know, and what I want you to know, is that it doesn't matter what other people think. It's how you feel. What makes you happy? If it makes you happy to still connect and communicate with that person, then continue doing it. Love doesn't go away. So if you really truly love someone, love just doesn't disappear. You still love the person, even if you can't be around them. You can still love your friends and love your exes and in-laws and still show love and have love for everyone. So yeah, so the perception is that you shouldn't do it. You know, in the 2018, the US Census report, did you know that women are waiting until they are at least 28 now to get married, while men are waiting until they're in their 30s? And you remember the time, well, our time and my time, when our friends was getting married right after high school. You know, they was ready to have a baby, have their family. That's what we did. And that's what people used to do. And then this may be the reason that the divorce rate is decreasing now. Yeah, the divorce rate is decreasing. But it's increasing for those over 55. Isn't that something? I wonder why that is happening. That's a whole nother show. But it's interesting. People over 55, what would I think? Let me see. Why do I think people over 55 are getting divorces? I don't know. Maybe they just been dealing with things so long, and so much information is on the internet now, and you can get so much information about how to live a better life, and maybe there's more support groups that they have access to, that they've been dealing with things and just dealing with it. And or maybe people just waiting till their kids are grown, fully grown, and they've always wanted to leave. I don't know. But that is from the census report of 2018, just last year. So what can we do to create a joyful and peaceful life after divorce? Here are 7 areas I believe that you should focus on. These are the areas that I actually focused on. You know, we realize that there's a whole nother side of the world after divorce. Because first you're married, and that's a whole world. And then when you get divorced, it's like a whole nother world. Like, what is going on, right? It's a whole bunch of new things out there. However, it could be an avenue for freedom, new life, mature relationships, appreciation. You can truly experience unconditional love, great partnerships, friendships, discovering yourself, and so on. There's so many other things that you learn, that you can learn and benefit from even after divorce. So 1, I want you to take action. You have to take action. And one of those actions is create a vision for your life. Create a vision for your life. Don't just get divorced and get out of a relationship and then you have no direction. You just, okay, whatever happens, happens. Whoever I meet, I meet. You know, long as I have somebody, that's good enough for me. No, what is the vision for your life? And I can help you with that. But in order to live the life that you desire and deserve after the D word, create a vision. You have to have a vision of what you want your life to be like, what you want it to feel like, what you want it to, what do you want people to be saying about it? What do you want to be hearing about it? How do you want it? How do you want to feel? When you divorce, you take yourself with you to the next relationship. So keep that in mind. So again, that's with all the baggage, right? That's baggage. But what we want to do is we want to drop that baggage off through several techniques and services such as yoga, meditation, therapy, support groups, faith, really having faith, believing in something, believing that things is going to change, being hopeful, professional help, and so many other avenues out there now to help you actually take care of yourself and take that action and create that vision for your life. Number 2 area, as I mentioned before, getting to know you. But let's take it a little deeper. Getting to know your soul essence. What is it that your soul craves for? Figure that out. Find some help to understand that so that you know what you really want to do. And it'll help you make some decisions easier because you're like, nope, I know that's something that my soul is not down with. I'm not going to do that. I'm not for that. I'm not going to go there. Figure out what your soul really desires. It's going to help you with decisions. Because society, you feel you have to justify why you made that decision. That's the thing with society. Society, after a divorce, people always ask you, even in a new relationship, okay, why did you divorce? Why do they ask that question? They want to know what happened then, but it doesn't matter. So much has changed in my life in the last 8 to 10 years since my divorce. That's not who I am. It doesn't matter. Why do we ask that of people? It's like we got to justify. We have to, and then when you have to justify, that's when you start going back into all the negative things that happen, right? You go into, the reason I left is because this happened or that happened and that wasn't good. And now you're talking about all this stuff that doesn't make you feel good. And remember what I said earlier, you want to try to do things that make you feel good. So you don't want to stay in the past and talk about those bad things. So I got to come up with something new when people ask that. And I'm just going to be like, well, it was just time for my soul essence. Wanted to move on and grow some more. But I have nothing bad to say about that situation. It all helped me get to where I am today and who I am today. And I'm able to translate that information, give that information, and help my sons. And that's another area, is that with your children. If you have children, a lot of people, society think, oh my God, your kids are they're gonna be damaged, and because they're in their parents separated and everything. No, I've done some research. That is not true. Believe it or not, it makes your children more observant of how things are handled and how things happen in life. And if things don't go well or go the way that you have planned, they're watching you and observing how you deal with it. And it helps them when they start living their life and getting out there. They know that things aren't always going to go as planned. So how are you going to deal with it? Are you going to get angry and mad and talk bad about the other person? That's the other thing. Do not say negative things about your ex around your children, please. That's putting so much burden and passing on that negative energy onto your child. And then that is going to be in their spirit for who knows when, until they get help and figure out, why am I acting like this? Why am I always angry? Why am I upset? It's because initially, way back then, you're just talking to that child and telling them all the negative things in your relationship and what's going wrong. And your dad did this, and no, you can't. And then parents that keep their kids away from their significant or ex, that is crazy to me. You thinking that that's helping the child? Now I understand if the person was abusive and anything like that, but even if the parent is abusive, children are born into this world with just love. They just love. And when they have that parent in the beginning and they're used to that, and then it's just taken away, they suffer from abandonment. So whatever you got to do for that child to still have some type of relationship, even if somebody has to be present in the room, do not just cut that child off from their parents. It's not healthy. You're not doing the child any good. So keep that in mind. So that's another area. That was a lot about the children, but that was so important because that's one of the things that I truly believe is, do not say anything negative about the ex around your kids. It will help your children just kind of realize that, hey, mommy's pretty cool. She can deal with that, and let me see if I can rub some of that off on me when I have to deal with things in life. So it's a positive thing. It can be positive. So when you have to make a decision to discontinue a job, a relationship, volunteering your service, or anything, and you have to end it, just continue to take those feelings and emotions with you will attract more of what makes you feel that way. So let me restate that. all of those emotions that you are dealing with, and if you, from divorce, and if you're trying to justify it with people, and so you're still in that negative loop of talking about what happened, if you're doing that around children, doing it around anyone, those emotions and everything, that baggage that you're carrying, and you're communicating that to the person around you, it's also being leaked into their life. So a third item, focus on the positive aspects from the previous relationship of what you are no longer doing because of that relationship. So we've already spoken about paying attention to the positive aspects, but also what are you no longer doing because of that experience? How have you changed? Think about those things. Like, oh my goodness, okay, now I know to speak up for myself. Now I know it's not good just to go with the flow every time just so everybody else can be happy. So I express myself more now. I let people know what I want, what I don't like, what I do like. That's a positive thing that came out of it. Because I used to just go with the flow. If you want it to be green, okay. It can be green, no big deal. I really wanted a different color, but it's okay, just to keep peace. So yes, speak up for yourself. That's something that I learned. So think about the things that you no longer do because of that relationship, how you change. The other thing is you can't feel good when you're focused on lack, what you don't have. So if you're looking for a different relationship or looking for a new relationship, some people after divorce just want to be single for a while. They're not interested in any relationship. But if you are, don't focus on, I don't have a man. I don't have anybody here. I don't have anybody to support me. I don't have anybody to help me out. Don't focus on the lack, because what that does, it just brings more of, the universe just brings more that way to you so that you can continue to feel that way. So again, focus on feeling good. Focus on feeling good. And, and the laws of the universe is real. And a lot of the laws of the universe, believe it or not, you can find it in many religious scriptures. It's just put in a different way. For example, one of the ones that I always live by is do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Right? What goes around comes around. What goes up must come down. Well, not always true. Some things can go up and just float away. But you know what I mean, right? So there's a lot of universal laws that you can go out and learn about. That's all I'm saying is research, knowledge. These are things that can help you live a healthy and happy life after divorce. So another one, the fifth one, don't talk negative about if children are involved. Okay, so we've already talked about that. It is an opportunity for your child. Now, another key thing is self-care. Self-care. Take care of yourself. Invest in yourself. It's not selfish. We've learned in the past that, it's selfish for you to put yourself first. Who came up with that? And think about this. There's a lady that I listen to often, Abraham Hicks. And I want to share one of the stories that she provided. And it's like we've been taught to believe that putting yourself first is selfish. But who is really being selfish? Think about it. So friends show up unexpected to go out and play. For example, okay, your child, your kid, and your mother calls you from downstairs or from your room and says, hey, Johnny's here for you to go out and play with. Come on down because he's here, so I want you to go ahead outside and play with him. But you really don't feel like going. You don't feel like going outside. You'd rather finish reading your book that you was reading, that you was so engrossed in and it was so good. And you're like, no, I want to finish reading this chapter in my book, right? But then your mother says, you're being selfish. Johnny came 2 houses down and he's here to play with you. You need to go play with Johnny. Now imagine how that feels and what belief that is instilling in that child. Think about that. It's like what you want doesn't matter. What makes you feel good doesn't matter. You need to just always do what the elder or the adult or whoever's in charge, just do what they say. It doesn't matter. And that's why we have so many unethical things being done in the businesses and organizations. People just going with whatever the CEO, I gotta keep my job. I don't agree with it, but I'm gonna just stay here and deal with it. Those kind of things eat away at you. It affects you spiritually and mentally and physically. So don't do that. So try to just be aware of that. And who is really being selfish? Really is the mother. She wants you to do what she wants you to do. Go out and play. You don't feel good, it doesn't matter. It's gonna make her feel good. She's like, yeah, just get out. Oh, everybody get out the house. So think about that. Now, the other thing I just want to share, it's not your job to be perfect in front of your children. It's not your job to try to be perfect after a divorce. None of us are perfect. We're going to make mistakes. The only thing that I want to just have you just try to remember is try to do things that make you feel good. And that will help you live that happier life. A happier life. Do things that make you feel good. Offer your children a positive view on well-being. Do not feel regret. Don't regret that, you got a divorce or you're out of this relationship. Don't feel any regret. It's nothing to regret. It's just another phase of life. Another phase of life. And focus on all the things that you learned from that relationship about yourself. It may have made you stronger. It may have put you in an area where now you're helping people to better themselves and help them out of situations. If it's an abusive situation, and now you're helping women that's being abused and helping them get out. If it's an addiction, you dealt with, a drug addiction or someone else has in your family or loved one and you had to depart, even though you love that person, but you had to make a decision that is, I can't stay there. I can't stay there. Everybody has their own path, even your children. Your children have their own path. We're just a vehicle that brought them into this world, but they have their own path as well. That's why it doesn't matter. You can do everything for your child. There's so many situations we know about where parents, two household parents, doing everything, got money, the kids can get everything they want, never wanted anything, and they turn out doing things that is harmful to themselves or to others. Everybody has their own choices to make. So the divorce, don't make it so bad if it happens. Yes, it hurts, it's painful, you go through the anger, but deal with those emotions. I'm not saying don't have any emotions, deal with them. Grieve that divorce. It's like a death in your life. You had hopes and dreams that are no longer there with that person or with your family. So you have to deal with that in order to be happy and live the life that you truly deserve and that you desire. Right? So let's see. And then the last one is make peace. That is a big one. Make peace. You're probably like, oh, that's an easy one. Just make peace. No, that's dealing with forgiveness. And we know forgiveness is a toughie, right? For a lot of people. They can't forgive. They pick and choose what they want to forgive and who they want to forgive. But in order to truly live that life that you want, a full life, a peaceful life, a loving life, to attract the person that you do want into your life, that partner, then you have to learn to forgive. You have to forgive others, and you have to forgive you. I had to do a lot of forgiveness for myself, just from the divorce, feeling bad about it and being away from my kids and, relocating. Oh my God, it was eating me alive. It was eating me alive. I was acting out in so many ways. And I'm so grateful that I'm over that I made it through that. Alive. There were so many times I didn't want to be here. Divorce is serious. So deal with those emotions. Get help so that you can live happy and be smiling and really be smiling on the outside and the inside, not just on the outside. So real quick, let me just say, oh, and the power is in you. So keep that in mind. The power, you have the power. You have the power. You are the creator of your reality, and you can make the life that you want to happen. You can have the life that you want. So don't waste life focusing on the past, the negative. Be nicer to yourself. Take it easy. Take it easy. Don't stress over everything. Take one step at a time. Notice the better you feel, the better things go. Notice when you are feeling happier and joyful about things. Just notice. And the biggest thing, another big thing, is listen to your intuition. Listen to your spirit. Listen to your gut. Pay attention to how you're feeling. No, that doesn't feel right. It's just like if you're riding on the road. I'm coming in today and I'm riding on the road and I'm on the highway. If I go over too far, I hear those little bumps in the road, right? Those little things. It lets you know, like, hey, you're driving off the road. That means that you need to get back on the road, right? If you don't, then you're going to end up in a ditch or who knows. So the same thing with your gut, your instinct, and your tuition. When you feel those little bumps or something doesn't feel right, pay attention to it. Pay attention to it. So I'm going to use like the last 5 minutes, the next 5 minutes, and if I could have some people call in, if anybody wants to call in, the number is, let me get the number, 240-455-5934. Okay, so I'm going to type that in the thing again. So that's 240-455-5934. So I would love to hear from anyone out there that's listening. If you could just give me a call, dial in, and just let me know what you thought about some of the topics tonight, some of the tips that were given. If you just wanted to share something about, how divorce has affected you, and then turn it around into a positive. What is the lesson that you learned from it? That's what I want to hear. I want to hear, what is the lessons? How did it better your life? If anyone wants to call in, please do so. Again, that's 240-455-5934. So we have a call? Okay, so we have a caller. Hello, and just give your first name and where you're calling from.
Hi, it's me, Valerie Hawkins, and I am calling from Washington State.
Hi, so thank you for calling in. So tell me, Valerie, what is it that stood out for you this evening, or is there anything else that you would like to share about this topic?
So I listened to Abraham Hicks just like you, and when you made mention of how when a mother comes in and lets her kid know, hey, your friend's here to come see you, you need to go see them. But the kid's like, I want to read my next chapter. And it's like, nope, you need to go see them. And how that's kind of implemented into, our lives. Like, I've just kind of noticed that with me, where I feel obligated to, basically put everyone before me. So here's what I want to do, but somebody else wants to do something else with me. So I feel that obligation that I need to put me aside because I'm being selfish, in a negative way. I'm not trying to be a good person, in general. Like, you almost feel like you're a bad person for choosing you. Right. And it's like, that's not the entirety of who we are, just because of a choice that we make that really is not defined as a bad choice. I mean, where is it defined as it's bad to take care of you first? when even in scripture it says, love your neighbor as you love
Yes.
yourself. You can't
Yes.
love them unless you love yourself.
Oh my goodness, that is such a powerful one. I appreciate you calling in, and that's a good one right there that you just said. Like loving, you have to love yourself. Love your neighbor as yourself. So right there, people leave that out, right? Right, Valerie? It's like you got to love yourself. You got to love yourself first. So that is so key. So I just want to thank you so much. Are there any other callers that are waiting? Okay. Well, Valerie, is there anything else that you would like to share before we close out this segment?
I just love you, and I love your show, and you are doing an amazing job, Sherry. Keep up the awesome work and the awesome you that you are.
Thank you so very much, Valerie. I appreciate you dialing in. You have a great evening.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you. So we're going to, like I said, that is so powerful that as a child, it's so important, just what you say and how you treat your children, and especially after divorce, you got to really be careful and just pay attention to what you're saying around your children and around others. Just be happy. Try to do things that make you feel good, and honor other people's space and what they want to do as well. So again, we're going to go into my creative corner as soon as I share with you my upcoming guests. It's going to be Latoya Wiggins and Renee Feller. They're both holistic health and wellness coaches, and they're going to be joining us in a couple of weeks. So we're going to go right to my creative corner so I can do a little special song for you all. Hope you like it. And close out the show. Stand up right here. All right. Pull up my words here. Okay, we're ready. And this special song is Feeling Good by Nina Simone. Feeling Good. Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day. It's a new life for me. Fish in the sea. You know how I feel. Rivers running free. You know how I feel. Blossoms on the tree. You know how I feel. It's a new dawn. It's a new day. It's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. with your host, Sherry Queen Burden. And remember to be it, see it, and create it. Believe it plus seeing it equals creative. See you next time. Peace and blessings. I'm feeling